Alright, game 2. That's game 1. If you have not seen it, it went to the guys on Last of Us relatively easily, about 25 minutes, and they basically just they basically just put everybody through and pushed it all down. Anyway, so well done to them, really. First game, I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought completely because it was Twitch. Well done to them, good job, whatever. Game 2, first up, Swiftblade ban, Silhouette ban, so yeah, you can see that coming through. Slasker, it's like, stupid friggin' Silhouette on Diglett kicked our ass, and not hugely surprising, 600 plus GPM, and that's just not going to be very fun for you. In the meantime, though, last couple of bans come out. Swiftblade, obviously, no surprise, as the hero is just so damn powerful. Riptide also going to get taken out. Riptide, obviously, also a very, very broken hero, and was I'm sorry, this is funny because everybody from Nullstone Gaming is in Twitch chat, which is very, very funny to me.
Rhapsody.
Anyway, and they're making me lose my damn train of thought. Swiftblade, Riptide, powerful heroes, they're friggin' broken. Silhouette crushed Diglett last game, or Diglett crushed on that hero last game. And then Cthulhu, also pretty damn broken. So, lots of broken bans, and then the targeted ban of Diglett because of how well he played. Rhapsody can be the first pick here for the Legion side. I entirely respect that, and I think it's completely the right pick. Always pick that hero first. It's friggin' amazing. Never, ever, ever pick any hero that is not Rhapsody first, because it doesn't make any sense to me. Especially Torturer, who everybody picks, and I don't know why. It doesn't win games, but whatever. Bubbles can be their follow-up pick. It's a good hero. It's a strong support, but two things. First of all, if you're going to play Torturer as a zoning support, like for example you have a Torturer and a Puppet Master lane against a Magmus, you should use the Torturer to actually, you know, zone out the Magmus. I don't know, it's a revolutionary idea, I think, a little bit, but maybe prevent him from allowing him to just basically get anything in that lane. And I don't know. I wasn't particularly impressed with the Torturer play last game, but it looks like they figured that their lineup wasn't the problem because they're going for Torturer Revenant once again. Glade's just going to switch it up a little bit here, but I'm not a huge fan of that. I don't really like picking supports early. I like to pick supports around my cores, and I'm not a huge fan of Revenant either, but anyway. Legion side finishing off their first stages with Rhapsody, obviously, the Magmus and Bubbles. So I'm really liking Legion's draft so far, and that's not going to put DNKE in a particularly good position because they are already down 0-1 in the series, and they obviously, if they fall down 0-2, they go to losers bracket, and The Last of Us advance to the winners bracket, which would be fantastic for them, but wouldn't quite put them into the guaranteed back up to diamond spots, which they're definitely looking for. Anyway, we'll see. But I think at this point, Legion have substantially outdrafted their opponents. The initiation potential is there. They've got the Bubbles and Magmus. They've got the team fight. They've got decent enough push with Rhapsody. Obviously, Bubbles and Magmus don't do too much in that respect. But hey, Volcanic Touch, very helpful. Bubbles can clean creep waves. And then, of course, the Rhapsody Dance Floor is just so damn powerful at that. But I don't know. Hellborn are going to have to pull this back from the brink because so far they're not off to a good start. They lost last game in 25 minutes and proceeded to pick the same two of the same heroes right off the bat in game 2. For me, that's not exactly a recipe for success. But I guess they feel differently, and I'm not quite sure why. Anyway, Parasite, Kraken, and Pebble's going to be bans out here for Misery, as he's getting rid of one jungle option, which is very strange because they've got Torture, Revenant, and Glacius. So my guess is that they're not running a jungle hero. I mean, you could see a Torturer carry and a Revenant Suicide or something like that, but we didn't see that last game. I don't know why they bring that out this game, especially because Torturer carry really isn't that good either. But hey, whatever. Kraken and Pebbles make plenty of sense though, as those initiator type heroes, strength initiators, plenty of magic damage, and it's a pretty solid team fight as well, especially from Kraken. We're going to ban out Tempest, Ophelia, and Moon Queen. Those bans make plenty of sense considering they did play Tempest last game, as well as the Ophelia and Rhapsody going very well together. And of course, those are two jungle heroes that would work well in their lineup until they pick up the Engineer, which they did in the second phase, and then of course the Moon Queen, which also could have happened if they had access to it, because they're clearly looking for a more hard carry type hero, with Dark Lady ended up being the choice. And those are the last two. So yes, Engineer and Dark Lady going to be the last two picks, and it's fine. We're going to see the Magmus Engie lane, no doubt. Middle, Bubble Suicide, and Rhapsody TDL bot. So a little bit predictable, I think, in the lanes at this point. We could certainly see an aggressive tri-lane or a short lane tri-lane or something like that. I'd actually prefer that a little bit, I think. Bubbles mid, aggro tri-lane, Magmus Engineer, Rhapsody. It's a 3-stun tri-lane. Should be plenty of damage coming out from that. The only issue, I think, is the fact that they did pick up the Behemoth and Bloodhunter. Bloodhunter not so much, mostly the Behemoth. Just such a powerful tri-lane hero. With that fissure, if you land it correctly, it can basically win you tri-lanes. So that might have been their original intention, and they might be a little bit scared off of that by the Behemoth. But I don't think it would be a particularly bad tri-lane, even if they did go for it and they were opposed, especially because the aggro tri-lane, I think, just does so much for you. You don't have to run a Suicide. You can get that solo short Dark Lady, or you can even run actually the Dark Lady tri-lane. I don't think that's a great idea in this type of situation, but it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. Hellborn, meanwhile, picking up Bloodhunter, who I also don't like, so they're just pretty much going for all sorts of heroes I don't like. I will say I do like Revenant, I do like Behemoth. I think those heroes both have potential, but Bloodhunter was 0-5 in Diamond Division last cycle and got named the worst hero of the cycle because you can't lose that many games and expect to continue doing very well. Let's go. Anyway, looks like we actually might see this aggro tri-lane here. No? Rhapsody heading middle with TDL, so out of all the possible things that they could have done with this Legion lineup, of which there are many, I don't like this at all. If you're going to run the aggro dual lane with Engie Magmus, which is fine, like if you want to pair these two together, they should be middle. And then you Suicide the Bubbles and run the solo bot duel. And this has nothing to do with the fact that the Hellborn are actually running the aggro tri-lane, which I quite like. I'm not sure if I'm really on board with this whole Torturer carry thing, but I suppose that was inevitable after the Behemoth pick. And Bubble's going to be a little bit slippery, hard to kill, of course, even though they have a lot of lockdown here on the Hellborn side. I think they're probably going to disband this tri-lane relatively quickly, so I wouldn't be surprised to see Glacius rotate middle, try to help out the Bloodhunter, especially because in this 2v1, he's basically going to get destroyed, or at least he should. I feel like Rhapsody should be doing a little bit more to harass him out at this point, but whatever, I suppose. Making sure that there isn't too much real opposition before she starts climbing that hill. Doesn't want to get caught out. But Bubbles down here in the lane versus Behemoth and Torture should be doing just fine. Probably won't win this lane by any means, but it'd be rather difficult to kill him, especially if he has solid use of the take cover, which is not that, but he's only level 1, so of course he has the Shell Surf first anyway, and I would expect to see the take cover right now. Yeah, there it is. So it's going to be a lot harder to stun and kill him as a result. Middle lane Glacius has joined Bloodhunter, that's not particularly surprising. And this lane, honestly, wouldn't be surprised if either side won it. They don't really have a particular advantage. You know, one side has the lockdown for the Skados, but no real follow-up. And the other side has a lockdown from the Ice Imprisonment and no real follow-up to that. So I really feel like it could go either way. A Bloodhunter obviously has a pretty significant laning tool in the Feast. Bottom lane, actually, Bubble's putting some pretty good damage out. And using his Shell Surf a little aggressively there. Fissure completely whiffing. Anyway, it's going to be quite good for him. Drops the health pot. Up top, going to be NG and Magmus versus the Solar Revenant. This is basically a suicide short lane, which isn't really a thing, but it's sort of a thing. And it's going to be difficult, of course, for this Revenant to do much of anything against a very, very powerful stun lane from the Legion side. NG Magmus are very well known as an excellent combination, of course, with the Lava Surge setting up the keg as well as the turret. But Revenant with his Essence Shroud may be able to survive just long enough to get his Invis off and then live. None of these lanes really have too much kill potential in my opinion. It's kind of unfortunate. It means we might be in for a bit of a slower paced game. And I'm going to Shell Surf actually over here right in front of Behemoth, so whoops. Nice take cover there, will stop the chain reaction stun, and Bubble should be able to just walk out of this. And he's going to trade some auto attacks here with Behemoth, but he's not really going to be any real danger. And oh well, nothing much going on here. Lava Surge there on top of Revenant. No, not going to be any follow-up. Yes, so there will, but obviously there's the stun. They got the Dust Revelation though, and now Revenant could be in some real trouble. We'll go auto attacks, and that'll be it. Misery gets first blood on the Magmus as a result of Engineer picking up the Dust Revelation. So that's the real problem, of course, with Revenant, is you can get a little too safe. You feel a little too confident. I've got the Essence Shroud. I can't die. Nothing will ever hurt me. And then somebody picks up a Dust or a Rev Ward or something like that, and all of a sudden you're like, oh crap, that's not going to work out so well. Now is it? That's what happens when you have a hero that doesn't have a true escape mechanism, more of a soft escape mechanism. Down here, perhaps looking to set something up on Bubbles once again. Behemoth's acting a little fishy. Which Bubbles should be able to deal with. He's a turtle! I got jokes. They're bad jokes. In fact, they might not even be jokes. I say things sometimes. I'm not sure if anybody can ever dispute that. Anyway, Palacios roaming a little bit. Looks like he'll head up top, grab the Illusion Rune, as well as place a ward. But no bottle here for either him or Bloodhunter. Obviously, he's not expected to get a bottle by any means, but Bloodhunter could. Unlikely, but possible. TDL certainly picked one up, and she's definitely not a typical bottle hero. But that's the sort of trade-off you make, you know. You don't run a typical mid-hero like TDL, do you get a bottle? Now, Bloodhunter is a very common mid-hero, and, you know, see him get a bottle fairly often, but evidently not choosing to go that route in this instance. Has boots instead, and has 600 gold, so he could still get one if he wants it. But I think at this point, probably not going to happen. If he wanted it, he would have gotten it already. Up top, Engineer does not have any more dust. And Revenant should know that. He should be checking inventory, so he should feel fairly safe here. Unless, of course, they drop it on the ground, in which case he would be in a lot of danger. But relatively passive game, of course, so far. Legion side taking a bit of a golden experience advantage. No doubt that Bloodlust helped them out a little bit. But in general, 1,000 gold. Can't quite be explained just by that one kill. Misery up top doing quite well on that mag with 350 GPM. So outside of the Bloodlust has 26 CS, which is the second in the game. Bloodhunter in the middle has 31 creep kills, and he's at 300 gold per minute. But the rest of his team not doing too well. 18 CS for Torture and only 13 for Revenant. So bottom lane, the fact that actually Torture going to be in some trouble here. Weedfield goes down, and we'll see if they can do anything. Yep, that's it. Pretty easy kill there on Torture. I keep watching this middle, expect something to happen, but it never does. Anyway, bottom lane, Behemoth has a haste rune. Bubbles is trying to juke and drive, but he's getting blocked by his own ballista, and now he's going to get caught by the creeps. And that's definitely going to be a dead. Bubbles take covers there, but yeah. Never not gonna happen. Yeah, that ballista was just evil. Apparently I DC'd from the chat server, not really sure why. I don't think I lost the stream. Certainly doesn't seem to have messed anything up, but maybe it was just HoN making a mistake, and boy, that'd be the first time that ever happened, right? HoN, an error in HoN. Ah. Can't possibly be the case. Right there, going to be an hemorrhage onto TDL, but lots of TP support coming in. They're going to perhaps look to turn this around. We've got Magnus and Engineer coming in. Revenant did put some stuff down on top of them, and they're pretty damn slow here. Also silence onto Misery there, so they won't get any return kills out of this. Not really a waste of those TPs by any means, though, because they did prevent further aggression from the Hellborn side. Probably would have been a kill onto Dark Lady if they had been able to just keep diving that. And instead, they keep their carry alive. Pretty damn critical. Although, TDL only at 275 gold per minute, not really where you want to be. Obviously, the Rune Cleaver is pretty important for her. And, you know, this isn't really the pace at which you would like to get one, so wouldn't be surprised to see her pass that up entirely, and then you're going to wonder how that's going to affect her farm for the rest of this game. They shouldn't be able to get enough in terms of items to do that. Off to the side, Glacius getting caught here, Engineer with the flank, and the entire Legion side is here, as Eggy B on that Bubbles manages to pick up the last hit. Meanwhile, jump there on a Blunt Hunter as well. Behemoth getting the Fisher, and is that going to be enough? Probably not. Staccatos are down there, and Song of the Sea finishes him off. Getting a silence here onto Magnus. He might not live. Yeah, he will at this point. Stun gets missed there by Torturer, and now Torturer is in a little bit deep, I feel like. Gets the Taint Soul and the Staccatos. Behemoth also going to be in some trouble. He's probably going to fall with a couple auto attacks. That's going to be it. Eggy B with a hat trick. That escalated quickly. And just some throws, I feel like, from the Hellborn side once again, where they're going in one at a time. Bloodhunter got super, super low, and I understand the desire to try to save him, and it's definitely a noble intent. But they basically just threw themselves on the meat grinder right there. They were not going to save him. And Torture's like, oh, crap, now I'm down the hill. I'm in a lot of trouble and take a Taint Soul and some stuns. Then Behemoth's like, oh, well, now I have no escape mechanism and not that much health. Actually, a fair bit of health, just no armor. Takes a fair bit of damage from magical sources, especially the Bubble Shell Surf, and that's it. So 6-1 hero kill lead all of a sudden in favor of the guys on The Last of Us. They're at 2.5k gold lead and just under 2k experience lead, so sitting fairly well at this point in the game. I think they would still like a little bit more farm on Dark Lady, but Magnus and Bubbles both doing pretty damn well, especially considering Bubbles was in the 2v1 lane. And on the other side of the coin, you have Bloodhunters at 300 gold per minute, Revenant at 200 gold per minute. Nobody's really doing very well at all for the Hellborn side, and give me some initiation here. Torturer might actually be able to turn this around. Last auto attack? Yeah! That was a mistake. He had the... Did he? It looked like he had the take cover up. And... Okay. Whatever. File gonna turn it around and grab the kill. Well done there. Hemorrhage goes to Rhapsody. She's gonna try to kill herself to the Ancients, but she's gotta get low enough first. And... Nope, not gonna happen. Shorecan gets the last hit there with the Fissure. So Vanilla Fresh takes the death, and not the greatest perhaps. We'd rather give that to Bloodhunter, but it's better to get the kill than to let her kill herself to Ancients. So, by no means the wrong play. Meanwhile, up here, looks like a gank once again, as we've got all sorts of invisibleness there. There's a stun from Behemoth, followed by Torture, and boy, you died quickly there, Misery. Painful. Middle lane, we might have something of interest. And we also might not. It's Cake Stun going down as Glacius going to get caught out here by the energy field. We'll walk right through it, and the turret will finish her off. So Narcy getting the last hit there. And Hemorrhage going down, though, on to Engineer, but nothing else. And he's just going to be like, alright, I'm going to stand here and be totally fine. Bottom lane getting pretty heavily pressured down here, and we'll see if they can do anything about that. I think tank cover was not quite used yet, so Bubbles will be able to get the hell on out of there, and is just going to try to port. Should be pretty easily successful. Glacius looking for the Thunder Blast there, but not going to happen, as it looked like Eggy B managed to get back into the well. And they do get the tower kill, in fact, was not denied, so definitely a good play there from Bubbles. First tower kill of the game, 12 minutes in. It's pretty ridiculous. Top lane Torture has rotated up here, looking to get some more CS, as he's only seeing 253 gold per minute here. Not exactly what you're looking for out of your, what is, I assume your carry player, considering Slaskid was Flux last game, and I was actually on the Puppet, so interesting how that they're sort of changing things up here, perhaps? Don't know. But I wouldn't really consider Revenant a carry hero by any means, so I don't really feel like I was is their carry player necessarily, but at the same time, Puppet Master suggests, or the fact that he played Puppet Master last game suggests that he is their carry player, at least in this instant is playing that role. Maybe they feel like they gotta switch it up. Anyway, mid tower,
the Legion had destroyed a Hellborn tower.
Bottom lane, meanwhile, gonna have a Revenant gank once again. Behemoth coming in from the side, but Bubbles is under his tower, which means this is gonna be more difficult to do, especially because, yeah, gotta walk right into tower range to do that. And lots of lockdown here. Is that gonna be enough? There's the actually counter kill onto Behemoth. That was not really worth his life, but at least he gets something out of it. I think he probably could have gotten away if he had shell surfed off to the side. Maybe the dot from Revenant would have killed him. Can't be super confident in that. Up top, looks like we're going to have a Revenant, or not Revenant, whatever, Magnus initiation there. Nice silence from Bloodhunter, will stop the eruption. Now all of a sudden Magnus can get turned around on. Engineering can be a lot of trouble. There's the chain reactions, and it looks like we're going to double tap for the Hellborn side. This top tower also going to be in some danger as well, with a pretty substantial creep wave. It's already at pretty low health, and that's going to be the last hit. Goes to file on that Torture, so Hellborn bringing some stuff back here. Pretty good engagement there on the bottom lane, getting the kill on the Bubbles, losing Behemoth, but that's definitely a trade that they will take. And then up here, getting a kill onto both Engineer and Magnus, and taking the top tower. So perhaps showing some signs of life here, and definitely something you'd like to see. Fewer throws, I believe, is a good mantra to have. Meanwhile, AEB up here looking to grab some CS. Nobody around him, so he should be relatively safe. Middle lane might be the next source of a Hellborn push, as this tower has taken 0 damage. Finally, those little creeps are going to take some hits, try to kill him. Run away, Revenant. Puts the Essence Shroud down, and I'm getting a call. Sorry about that. So that might have come through the microphone, but oh well. Nothing really I can do about it. Top lane, Eggy B going to push this once again. And it looks like Bloodhunter wants to contest this, or at least protect his tower. But Magnus should be, or sorry, not Magnus, Bubble should be totally fine. And we'll just shell surf on out of there. Still does not have a portal key quite yet.
Just getting started.
Sorry about that. Something was going down. Anyway, pretty heavy push here on the bottom lane, and looks like up top, actually, I give you Will managed to finish off the tower all by himself. So it took 3 heroes to do the job of 1, apparently. I'm a little impressed by Bubbles. Aren't you all? Meanwhile, Hellborn going to clean up some creeps here in the woods. And once again, quite a passive game. Bit disappointing. Game 1, not super active, but definitely a little bit more than this. As both teams seem to content to just kind of sit back and farm, not do too much. Provide us perhaps a good opportunity to look at items. Torture really going for more of a utility build. Sackstone on top of Bottle Power Supply. And the Mighty Blade suggests to me that he's going to be going for a Shrunken Head, which would make plenty of sense, of course, with Magnus and Bubbles, as well as Engineer Rhapsody providing some more incidental magic damage. But of course, the Bubbles and Magnus are the main output sources. Bloodhunter is going for a Shrunken Head of his own on top of his Mystic Vestments, so it looks like he's going to be finishing that up right now. Not bad timing. Although relatively early on, you kind of question exactly how much damage output he's going to have and how effective he's going to be able to be. Bubbles getting caught by everything. Behemoth Ultimate gets down, which was entirely unnecessary because he got silenced, but yeah, that was a really bad situation to be in. The entire Hellborn team collapsed on him. Anyway. Top lane, Torture finishing some stuff off. Legion side items, meanwhile, Magnus has finished up the portal key. Of course, that's probably been there for a while. I haven't noticed it necessarily, because I'm oblivious to things. Bubbles has also finished up his PK, both of them farming pretty well, just over 300 gold per minute. Diglett has gotten himself to 430 GPM and is going for that Rune Cleaver. Interesting he chose to go for it on top of an Energizer and Ghost Marchers, as well as a Ring of the Teacher, so a lot of build up here for TDL, and as a result, not going to get that Rune Cleaver quite as quickly as he might like. It is 19.5 minutes here, and he has just completed it, as he bought both of the sword blade things. I don't even remember what they're called. Broadsword, there you go. It's important to get those item names right, and there's the cleave, so does in fact go for the cleave despite a bit of a poor start, but up to 430 GPM even before that, so not really the worst thing in the world. And then of course his farm will only get better as a result of it. Meanwhile here in the bottom lane I'm missing stuff, so let's go back, as it looks like Glacier's gonna get caught here. Energizer gets popped and TDL's just like, yeah buddy, you in trouble. Those Dark Blades, they hurt. Engineer, meanwhile, sitting on just Steam Boots and a couple of Mire Totems, perhaps looking for a Portal Key of his own as a first item. Rev Ward goes down and will counter the Hellborn's Revelation Ward, and might be in range of this. Yeah, is in fact in range of this Word of Sight, so that's nice for them. Behemoth not looking to engage there. Rhapsody's still sitting on red boots, as she is pretty damn naked. Anyway, Bubbles here gonna get stopped by the sounds, but like, hey, I can port, bye. Same problem you have with Arachna, where you're basically just like, okay, you got a spider on me, I can TP back to base, and the spider hilariously runs like 800 million yards back to the well. But essentially stops Arachna from doing the ridiculous amounts of damage she can do. Same thing goes for Bloodhunter. Just TP right on out, and he can't do anything about it. Looks like Hellborn will be gearing up here for a mid lane push. They've got 4 of their 5 heroes, and Bloodhunter appears to be on his way. 21 minutes into this game, still haven't taken out this mid lane tier 1 tower, and it's really taken almost no damage, so they should do something about this. They have lost a fair bit of map control as a result of not having this tower down. TDL not really willing to cede it, though, and the initiation potential at this point isn't super great for the Hellborn side. Revenant going to put the Shroud up onto a couple of heroes. That's going to help them work their way around the back and perhaps get in somebody's face, but of course no portal keys, no real jumping mechanisms compared to the Legion side where they got a couple of PKs. There's going to be a stun onto TDL. Ultimate goes up, but she actually runs away from the Rhapsody ultimate. Weed field onto a few, and the energy field also catches a few, but there's going to be chain reactions onto her, and that's going to be a 2 for nothing. That's finally going to be a counter onto Behemoth, and actually TDL buys back, looking for some kills here, but immediately gets silenced by Bloodhunter. You'd think that she'd like, okay, you've given me a crap ton of damage, thank you for that. But now there's no lockdown. Finally, Torch going to get caught here off to the side. Charging strikes forward. Meanwhile, in the background, looks like King Neck and Glacius does die. Revenant here trying to save his buddy. Can't do so. Torturer falls. He's also going to try to chase down Magnus. A couple more auto attacks should finish him off. But nope. All of a sudden, TD Ultimate comes down. And there's a Dark Blaze plus Revenant. Shell Surf going to come through. And that's going to be a ton of damage. Magnus actually going to die to Bloodhunter, because for some stupid reason tried to come back in onto DD Bloodhunter. That was really friggin' terrible. So ends up, nice kill there for Slasket Red, but still not a great engagement for them, as they managed to kill only the Magnus. Oh, they did kill TDL right off the bat, and then took a buyback, but of course lost 4 heroes as a result of that. So definitely not a good engagement there by any means, and they're going to have to be really, really careful about doing that sort of thing in the future, because really that could have gone a hell of a lot worse if TDL had just stayed in the Rhapsody ultimate, because she was in range of it initially, and then she walked right out of it, likely because of the fissure and some pathing issues. If she hadn't moved, there's a reasonable chance she would have moved that entire fight. All the burst damage right off the bat, wouldn't have had to die and then buy back, and then could have turned things around. So even as things went, it was a pretty solid engagement for the Legion side, but for some misplays, it could have been even better. And if that's the sort of thing that you're taking as the Hellborn team, you probably want to be a little more careful next time. So pretty significant item pick up there for the Hellborn as they get the Hellflower onto Revenant. That's going to help a lot stopping the Magnus channel, the Bubbles Shell Surf, the Rhapsody Ultimate, TDL's mobility, Engineer's various crap, lots of spells being cast on the Legion side, and therefore that Silence and Perplex is going to be very, very helpful for them. Revenant here sitting right on top, and Charging Strikes are down, Hellfire goes off, but no lockdown. Glacius unable to drop the Dice Imprisonment on top of TDL. So things looking relatively even at this point. And 373 gold per minute on Bloodhunter, 343 on Torture, 314 on Revenant. Farm, not bad on the Hellborn side. Legion side, it is much more concentrated in the TDL at 480 gold per minute. Not a huge surprise there, considering Dark Lady is that type of hero that's like, I get everything. And of course she has the Cleaver as well. Meanwhile, in the middle lane, looks like we're going to see a catch on a Bloodhunter here. Pops a Shrunken, and he's just going to run away. Should be totally fine. No real way to stop him from doing that sort of thing if he's going to pop a Shrunken. And Slasket Ret will be just okay. Anyway, Hellborn side cleaning up some agents here, as well as this bottom lane farm. And they're not really in a great position. I think it's a little bit worse than the stats suggest at this point, just because TDL is at 490 gold per minute. And that's not really what you're looking for, I think, if you're the opposing team. Let's get a Dark Lady up to 500 GPM and then try to win the game, especially considering she's got Cleave, so it's going to get even worse at this point. She should get 550, maybe even 600 GPM. And yeah, missing crap, but beauty of replay is Rhapsody going to get, wow. Okay, Revenant Shroud. I was like, what are you doing there behind 4 heroes? But no, that's Revenant Shroud. Trying to drop a lane ward, a little bit too aggressive there from Vanilla Fresh, and pays for it with her life. Top lane, looks like we're going to see a jump on TDL, going to get a kill, and Misery dies first, though, looks like. Slasket Rit wants to get the counter with his Shrunken Head up, and TDL Ultimate going on, and they're apparently just like, yeah, let's run away. We've got the advantage here, but we don't know that. Weedfield goes down onto 2. Looks like a nice BE ultimate onto a few as well. Man, it's Cleanup City. Diglett gonna fall. Looks like Engineer's gonna be the next on the list as he's way too low to be able to get away from Blood Hunter. And Rhapsody is also gonna die. Yeah, there's a stun. They know exactly where she is. Chain Reactions just barely connects. And there's a silence as well. And now they can see her, of course, because of Blood Hunter's Blood Sense. That's it.
Genocide.
So this mid tower finally gonna fall at 27 minutes into the game. They are gonna take the mid tier 1 tower.
Destroyed a Legion tower.
And things going pretty well, I think, in the last engagement there for the Hellborn side. Finally have managed to get themselves a gold and experience lead. And might actually take a tier 2 tower here. So it took them 27 minutes to kill a tier 1 tower. And it might take them about another minute or so less to kill a tier 2 tower.
The Hellborn have destroyed a Legion tower.
And you'd think, you know, with Torture, they'd be able to push stuff down a little bit faster than that, but they haven't. Anyway, things were looking really, really good for the Legion side as they had that 490 gold per minute Dark Lady, and now less so. 400 GPM on Blood Hunter, 380 on both Revenant and Torturer, and all of a sudden, things are not looking happy. Sorry, I'm having fun with Twitch chat, and that means that since I'm solo casting, I can't do shit. Oh boy. This is pretty much entirely for the benefit of like 12 people, because I'm gonna put this up on YouTube, and God, if I get to 10 views on it, I'll be shocked. I've got, what, 10 viewers right now? Yep, that's fantastic. Plus, this is a replay game of something that was played last week, so not exactly high priority content. Anyway, Hellborn side looks like they're going to rotate here through the Legion Wood, looking for some pickoffs, but the Legion side are quite a lot more powerful than they might initially assume. Not sure if they would have lost that team fight if it had been taken. They probably would have, because it was a 4v5 with bubbles up here, but hey, you never know. Hellborn side were pretty spread out. That could have been bad. Meanwhile, up top here, Eggy B. Oh boy. Not good.
Massacre!
Hellborn are owning indeed. That Behemoth coming through and just absolutely crushing. Bottom lane, Behemoth will be pushing this by himself. Hellborn side sort of rotating for a possible tower push in this bottom lane. And it's basically a standoff at this point. One side's like, yeah, I don't really want to fight. And the other side says, yeah, I don't really want to fight, which is a lot of what has been happening in this game. 15 to 19 hero kills. A lot of that's happened in the last few minutes, so It's a little bit deceptive. It's been a generally slow-paced game. Waiting for the Magnus Eruption. There it is, and not going to be able to Portal Key, doesn't matter, but an ultimate in the background, Rhapsody going to be canceled pretty much immediately. Eggy be the first one to fall. Pretty much everything dying on the Legion side. Diglett also right off the bat dead, no damage pretty much anymore. Magma's trying to do something and live. He's just going to get in the back. We'll take an Ice Imprisonment and a Chain Reaction's done. That's going to be a kill. And it looks like Bloodhunter's going to try to chase people down here. That's not a great idea. Eggy be buying back, and BH is going to finally decide to run away. Nope, unless they want to try to do something here onto Rhapsody. No fissure range, it looks like, on Behemoth, so Lava Surge there onto 2, and it looks like Misery has bought back. Torture in a lot of trouble, but King DNKE on the Glacius will fall first. So the buybacks here proving pretty helpful for the Legion side, as they're trying to turn this team fight around. Bloodhunter with the silence onto Bubbles. Nice ultimate from Beam, killing every... Oh boy.
No chance. 5 kills.
Oh, that hurts.
Genocide.
That's painful. This tier 2 bottom will fall, but that was a really, really great ultimate from Behemoth. So plenty of buybacks used. I believe Misery, Bubbles, both used one. And that's going to be a tier 2 push, possibly a tier 3 kill. They've got 10 seconds. The only buyback available is the one on Engineer, and oh, that's not going to do too much, so...
The Hellborn have destroyed a Legion tower.
Oh well. Tier 3 dead. And Diglett is back up, so he'll be able to back them the hell off. Splitstone. But looks like DNKE pretty well in control of this game at this point. 466 GPM on that Dark Lady, being pretty well matched at this point by all 3 of the cores on the Hellborn side, and that's not really a good thing considering the second best farmer Legion team is Bubbles at 270 gold per minute. So they're just in general getting crushed right now, and there's the Revenant gank coming in. Magnus totally destroyed. Absolutely nothing he can do about that.
Massacre.
Wouldn't be surprised to see a Conquer attempt here, but perhaps they'll just go for this Engineer. DD Bloodhunter coming through. And there's the Hemorrhage. NG, you in some trouble, buddy.
I'll be here all day. Sit down, son.
Oh, Nursey, how come you didn't move? You just stood there. Come on. It's so sad and pathetic. I'm really unimpressed. I think this guy is probably the worst player in competitive HoN. See, that's, again, more jokes because he's in the chat, so. People that watch this on YouTube are going to be confused as all hell and go post in the forums about how much I hate Nursey, and then they'll start to try and play more, I think. That'll be fun. I'm looking forward to it. Anyway, up top, looks like Legion are going to get tower kill, but that doesn't really matter because their racks are falling in the bottom lane. And Lava Surge there, only going to connect a Torturer somehow. Missed Bloodhunter, not really sure how that happened, but then Misery is dead. So, okay, that didn't work too well. Mid tower will be in some trouble. As they're just going to counter push this. I think pretty much the Last of Us are basically throwing at this point.
The Hellborn have destroyed a Legion tower.
So they're going to get some racks up top here, but that's not going to matter too much. And actually now they're going to counter this a little bit. Engineer Ultimate doing quite a lot. Where's Rhapsody? Not doing, there it is, finally. Not enough time to save Nursey, and then there's the Behe Ultimate, killing everything. And the entire Legion team is dead. And that's the game. Glacius is just ulting for no reason. With what I have to say is a pretty fantastic avatar, I think. I'm not a huge fan of most Glacius avatars, but that's a pretty great one. Top lane tier 2 tower is pretty low already, and that shouldn't take very long to kill. Misery did buy back.
Destroyed a Legion tower.
I think? No, he didn't. He respawned, yeah, because he died earlier before that fight even started. Freezing his buddies, but there's the eruption coming in. Actually going to do quite a lot of damage here. We'll see if Eggy can do anything. Yeah, we'll pick up Shortcan on that Behemoth. And Torturer in some trouble as well. Looks like Revenant might fall. And Dust of Revelation goes out. That's going to be enough to kill him. So I was like going to be the second one to fall. And File also going to die. It ends up being a 3 for nothing there. So effective buybacks from both Bubbles and Dark Lady. Is that going to be enough? I suspect no, because this is the Legion base right now. But, hey, it's not nothing. And, of course, the top lane was killed by Eggy and Diglett in their little mission to trade racks. Kong, we're now going to be attempted here by the Legion side, which is really, really ballsy, not only because they're down by so much, but also there's a ward right here in the pit, so they clearly have not counter-warded here. And they're going to be finally like, yeah, that maybe wasn't such a great idea. Or maybe Misery's just going to grab this Invis rune and hang out in the pit for no reason. Are they just screwing with everybody now? I think that might be the case. That looks like Hellborn are pretty down with the shit, and they're just going to look to push down this top lane. Shouldn't be particularly difficult. They do have a 20k gold and 27k experience lead. And in all honesty, I think this is at the point where they can basically just take the game if they're reasonably intelligent about it, and I have confidence that they will be. Bottom lane has pushed up fairly far, as this tier 2 tower is going to hit by the archer. But it won't take very long for that to push right back into the Legion base, and same thing for the middle lane, at which point somebody will have to defend that. And then you take the teamfight advantage. I think TDL going to take quite a lot of damage. Hemorrhage going to go through, but there's a shrunken head, and man, she's taking some pretty serious heat. Nope, Rhapsody ultimate immediately canceled. There's the Behe ult, and everything is dead. Obviously no buyback left on Bubbles or Tark Lady, so
The Hellborn have destroyed a Legion
they're not
tower.
coming back. And Magma's coming in with the Eruption, actually doing quite a lot of damage, but not going to be able to kill anything. Astrolabe basically heals a ton of that back. And
A Legion
that's gonna
barracks
be it.
has been destroyed. A Legion barracks has been destroyed.
so, game 2 here. Mega Creeps, unless something ridiculously amazing happens, like 5 DCs thanks to Sender DDoS, I think this game is pretty much done, and there's a CC vote. So, this game 2 going to DNKE, and a pretty nice comeback actually, because they were down early, and up against a Dark Lady with good farm and a cleave, they managed to pull this one back. And that's going to lead us into game 3 of this series, which I assume is going to be a pretty good match, considering these teams are now tied 1-1 with success. There's some equality of skill, and we will move